I want to quick talk about one of my favorite video games of all time and kind of show off a little bit of this super duper cool diorama I made from my favorite bench in the game. You can see it on screen right now. Oh, I think it's so cute. Took me a long time to make this, and a lot of the metal stuff took me forever to bend. It's just electric fence wire. I had an old spool of it, and then I just kind of glued it together. It's so cute though. And then I wired up LEDs all over the place so it would light up, and I have a switch on the outside. And of course I stuck it, I don't know why I said of course, but I stuck it inside of a TV that I had cleaned out, an old CRT TV. So it kind of has that, it has depth, it has a container to sit in, and it has that, I like the glass because it makes it, I don't know, it makes it feel special to me. I think it's really cute. But Hollow Knight is incredible, and I hope to convince you to play it. It was really hard though, so if you don't like hard games, maybe just watch somebody play it. You start out as a little ghosty bug guy, and the whole thing is based off of bugs. How cool is that? How unique of an idea is that? That's so cool. And it's stylized. It's so pretty. So it's not like, you gross bugs. It's more like, whoa, bugs! I don't know, it's hard to explain. Because I personally hate bugs. Ugh, all creepy crawlies, gross. But Hollow Knight bugs are so cool. They have so much personality in their cartoony style, which I just love. But you start out as this little ghost guy. Not the Hollow Knight. The Hollow Knight is... Well, technically there's a bunch of Hollow Knights. The Hollow Knight is one of the final bosses. You are kind of a Hollow Knight. There's a lot to discuss, like lore-wise, but I don't want to get into that. I just want to talk about the game because it's cool. And the combat is super simple, something that I love. Oh my gosh. Sometimes when you get combat that's too crazy, like I would argue that WoW kind of has a lot of stuff going on. I don't like reading all that stuff. I like simple combat, like Dark Souls. Just kind of 3 moves and then you roll. That's pretty much kind of what Hollow Knight has. You have attack in front, behind, up, and down, and then you get a dash eventually. 10 out of 10. It's so cool though. There's 2D Metroidvania, and in my opinion, it is, short of Super Metroid, it is probably the best out there. It is incredible. If you like Metroidvanias, play this game. Please play this game. It's so good, and it's cheap too. For what you get a massive game. I think my first playthrough took me 80 hours, and it only costs like $15. It's incredible. I bought in this, let's see, I bought it 1, 2, 3, 4 times? No, 5. At least 5 times. Twice for a couple friends. Once for my Switch, once for my PlayStation, once for my computer. So this development company, Team Cherry, definitely deserves your money. Oh, they're so cool. And music, I think they have like 3 people working on it. And they have this wonderful composer who makes simple yet very recognizable tunes. If you look up any OST for Hollow Knight, I guarantee you'll fall in love with the music. My favorite's The Resting Grounds, but a lot of people like The Green Path, a lot of people like City of Tears, a lot of people like whatever. It's all fantastic. The gameplay is also 10 out of 10. Like I said, it's very simple, but they're able to incorporate a lot of cool bosses, especially with since bugs are like, there's tons of bugs, they can just pull ideas from nature. I love that. And they're able to, you fight like mantis lords, you fight like these beetle things that roll at you. You fight a suit of armor piloted by a maggot. Oh, it's so cool. If you love dark and depressing atmospheres of fallen kingdoms and exploring dead places, this will also give you that experience as well. Like if you like Dark Souls, you're gonna like this game. I've heard this game described as the Dark Souls of Metroidvanias. I don't like that comparison though. Just there's a lot of people who say this is the Dark Souls of this is there. I think that's too goofy. Just call it Hollow Knight. Just call it a really good Metroidvania. That's good enough. Ah, but it's so cool. And there's so many branching paths and so many secrets to discover. You can play the whole game without finding some like upgrade items. Like, do you have to get I don't even think you technically have to get the double jump. How cool is that? There's so much to explore, and every area is super unique. My favorite is, music-wise, is the Resting Grounds. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a resting ground, so it's not like there's much combat there. Because you can rest there, and it's like the graves of peoples. It's cool. But my second favorite might be the Queen's Gardens. That place is hard. It's full of spiky plants and flying mantises that try to kill you. Throw boomerangs at you. There's so many secrets. There's so many bosses that you just could miss. Or maybe you can, if you don't want to fight them, you can find a way around them to get to the next area. Ah, so neat. There's the Queen's Gardens, which has spiky plants. There's Green Path, which is full of a little passive warriors, but when they see you, they'll get angry. Some enemies are just 100% passive. And you don't even have to fight in the Green Path. The City of Tears is full of the peoples of the city who are now corrupted and have lost their memory and their minds and attack anything that's closest to them. Kind of like the Forgotten Crossroads, which is the first area of the game. And I don't want to spoil it, but once you reach a certain point in the game and knock down a door, something happens to refresh some of the areas in the game, so it's new. And you get new enemies in those areas. And so you can re-explore an area you've already done. Oh, it's so cool! Full of even more dangerous enemies. Oh my gosh, it's a 10 out of 10. This game is fantastic. And of course, any Metroidvania wouldn't be able to... No, you wouldn't... I don't know what I'm trying to say. But the bosses in this game are also, oh my gosh, they're so good. There's so many of them. And like I said, you don't have to fight a lot of them. The Dung Defender is a wonderful fight that you don't have to do. You just don't have to interact with him if you don't want. You don't have to get Esmeralda's Tear. Is it Esmeralda or is it Isma? I'm rusty. I haven't played it in years. But I do have over 600 hours in it, so... And that's just on my PC. So I clearly like this game. And they have free DLCs. What game does that? For $15, you get a massive game and like 3 or 4 free DLCs. What? That's insane. You get the Grim Troop, which introduces like a traveling caravan, let's see. I think there's only 2 main bosses for that, but those 2 bosses are my favorite in the whole game. His name is Grim, and he's inspired by Castlevania a bit. Dracula. Absolute love those bosses. Super hard too. He's super duper hard. Probably the second or third hardest boss in the game. And then they've added a couple like quality of life updates. But they added a extra fight with the Dung Defender called the White Defender. Back when he was in service to the king, they added Zote, a new Zote fight, where you can fight what Zote himself idealizes himself to be, what he believes himself to be. That fight's hard. Super cool. They added the most recent update. They added a whole Coliseum where you can just fight bosses. You can just go choose one of the however many bosses they have, and specifically fight that one. And you can do challenges where they deal normal damage, double damage, or they one-hit kill you. That's cool. That's hard. And then they have gauntlets where you fight, 12 of them at once. Not at once, but in a row. And you have to survive to the end. That's so cool. And of course, the final Coliseum is every single boss in the game, one after another. Good luck doing that. That's so hard. But it's so cool. This game is fantastic. Please go play it. Please show this company some love. They're currently working on Silk Song, which is going to be their second game, which follows Hornet after she leaves Hollow Nest. I can't wait for it to come out. We've been waiting. The community has been waiting for ages for this game to come out. But I have faith. I have trust in Ari and the team. I am convinced they'll give us a good product, and I can't wait to play it. I'll probably buy it 5 times again too. Oh, it's so cool.